In my last video, I got the top end disassembled on this 1992 Yamaha Virago 1100. Gonna be installing some new piston rings, gonna be rehoning the cylinders, gonna be lapping the valves, and then putting it all back together with a rebuilt top end. So I'm gonna start off with rehoning the cylinder walls. You can get specialized honing oils you can use on these ball hones, but I'm gonna use Marvel Mystery Oil. This is marketed as both a fuel and an oil additive, and in my experience, it's just a really good general purpose lubricant. All right, see how we did.
Not too bad for my first time doing one of these. Yep, got that nice 45-degree crosshatch. It's definitely tricky to keep the RPM under control when you're doing this. There's a lot of resistance. This is the other cylinder, unhoned, versus the freshly honed cylinder. It's a pretty big difference.
Next step is to start gapping the piston rings. Squeeze that in there. Pistons have quite a bit of carbon buildup on them, so I'm gonna try removing it by soaking them in WD-40. See if this plastic scraper will take care of it. That was actually pretty effective. Not perfect, but it doesn't have to be, just as long as the big deposits are off. Another thing that mystery oil is really good for is cleaning parts. See, it picks up all kinds of stuff. I already did the other one, but the next step is to install the rings. So you'll start with the oil separator ring. Then you can move on to the oil ring bands. There's two of them. There's an order that you need to place the gaps in on these. You want to make sure that the gaps in the rings aren't lined up, because then the blow by will pretty much just go straight through them and you'll lose some compression that way. So when I'm putting these in, I got to be mindful of lining them up where they're supposed to be. These are pretty thin, so you don't want to use a install tool for these like you will for the bigger ones. Okay, so you can see your two gaps in the oil rings here. You want to position those so that they're catty corner to each other. For the compression rings, there is a difference between the top and the bottom. For the bottom one, you'll see this little R here. That's going to go towards the top, so you want that R facing up. That one's going to go in first. Then for the top ring, it's got these beveled edges on both sides, so it doesn't matter which way is up on it. Okay, so now that we got them in, we can do our gap alignment. Starting off with the oil ring. See See, there's our top gap there, that lower right corner. There's our bottom gap. Okay, that looks good. So we'll set our bottom piston ring gap over here, and our top one up here. So bottom ring gap, top ring gap. This gasket kit that I got from eBay, it came with gaskets for the side covers on both the left and right sides of the crankcase, and it's a whole lot easier to replace these with the engine out of the bike. So I'm going to go ahead and do that while I've got the engine out, just so I don't have to worry about them leaking in the future. This is a little trick I learned from the YouTube channel Dr. Motorcycle. Just put the bolts in a piece of cardboard in the order that they go in, so you remember where they go. It's handy. I'm gonna go in kind of a crisscross pattern, roughly, so I don't bend this thing. Next up is the left side cover. Once you get all the fasteners out, there's a couple underneath the clutch linkage cover. There's also the mounting bolts for the starter linkage cover, or the starter clutch linkage cover, rather. So you can see this is the starter clutch. The easiest way to take this off from here is just to go back here, and this wire, this little ring connector, is connected to this grounding point here. If you just disconnect that, the starter motor will come out with the side cover. There it is. Here's a better view of the side cover removed. This grounding wire here is connected to the crankcase with this ring connector. That screw is really stuck in there, so I'm just not even gonna bother with it. I'm just gonna go ahead and replace the gasket and put it back on. Now we're ready to install the pistons back onto the engine. You can see I got my cylinder base gaskets on already. I've got this engine assembly lube I'm gonna be using. So take a little bit of that, apply it to the inside of the wrist pin bearing. So on the piston, you'll see the EX on the crown. That's the exhaust side. So this is the rear. That's the exhaust side, towards the back of the engine. We do the same with the wrist pin. Apply a good amount
that assembly lube all over it. Slide that in. All right. I'm gonna clean up a little bit of this excess on the side before we install the circlip. For the circlip, when you put it in, for one thing, you never want to reuse the old one, but you also want to make sure that the gap in it is oriented towards the top of the cylinder, because if it's facing this way, when you hit high RPM, the forces of the piston moving up and down really fast can actually compress this gap together. And if that happens, the clip could potentially even pop out and allow the wrist pin to slide out and score the side of the cylinder wall and trash the cylinder. One step I almost forgot is take a shop towel and put it around the base of the piston, because if you accidentally drop that circlip down into the cylinder bore, into the crankcase,
gonna have a bad time.
God dang it, come on. Well, I ended up getting it off camera, but I ended up getting the circlip in. It was kind of a fight as usual. So what I did was I pinched it in with my fingers with the gap towards the top, kind of like that. And then once I got the gap in there at the top, I just kind of took my little flathead screwdriver, put in that notch there. I just kind of pushed it into the slot. So do the same exact thing on the front cylinder. Got the cylinders all ready to go back on. I cleaned them multiple times, the cylinder walls, with the mystery oil. I took a few passes with it to get all the dirt and grime out from the honing. And then I just went over the gasket surfaces again with that too to make sure it was nice and clean. There's a little bit of residue from the original factory gasket on there that I couldn't get off. That shouldn't affect the sealing really too much at all. It's still pretty level. The juice wasn't really worth a squeeze on trying to get that out, because that could have marred the surface up even more as I was trying to get it out. So next thing is going to be to apply a liberal amount of engine oil to the cylinder walls and also to the pistons, just to the piston skirts and the rings, and then we'll be ready to slide these things back on. Oh, shit. As you can tell, that was extremely difficult. The second compression ring was absolutely brutal to compress with my fingers and get past the cylinder sleeves. So my biggest piece of advice if you're going to do this is just to go ahead and get a piston ring compressor. I guarantee you somebody makes them that would accommodate a 3.75 inch diameter cylinder. I was just too lazy to actually go online and look for one. So don't do that. You're gonna make your life a million times easier if you just get a piston ring compressor and don't try to do it the hard way like I did. So I'm gonna call it a night, go have a beer. I definitely need it after that. So tomorrow I'll come back and start on the heads.